Meet Linda McCartney, the first wife of Beatles legend Paul McCartney. Beyond her role in her husband's music, Linda was deeply engaged in her own endeavors, spanning photography and writing. Their union began in 1969, but tragically ended with Linda's death in 1998, leaving Paul devastated. "I cried a lot. It was almost embarrassing, except it seemed the only thing to do," Paul told of the first year after Linda's death. Join us as we delve into the emotions Paul experienced and explore how he navigated through the pain of losing his beloved Linda. Meeting Paul McCartney. Love stories often have complex beginnings, and the tale of Paul McCartney and his future wife is no exception. Their journey unfolded over several years, commencing with a chance encounter at a Soho club named the Bag o' Nails. At that time, she was in London working on a book titled Rock and Other Four-Letter Words. According to Danny Field's biography of Linda McCartney, sparks flew instantly between them. Their introduction was somewhat serendipitous. She was in the company of members from another group she had photographed, the Animals, when he made his acquaintance. Subsequently, they moved on to another club, where he extended an invitation for everyone to join him at his house. Paul's interest in art, particularly surrealist painter Magritte, provided a unique connection. He had recently acquired paintings by the artist and wanted to share them with the group. Linda, who was not only familiar with Magritte, but also enthusiastic about experiencing his work firsthand, found this aspect of Paul both intriguing and unusual. Their paths crossed again when Linda attended a press conference where she not only photographed the Beatles for the release of Sgt. Pepper, but also engaged in conversation with McCartney. Despite returning to the U.S., it would be more than a year before they met again. Nevertheless, even after these relatively brief encounters, Linda expressed a sentiment she had never felt towards any other famous man. "Paul McCartney is so wonderful. I really am in love with him." The first date. By 1968, Paul McCartney found himself in an unhappy relationship with Jane Asher, an aspiring actress whose career aspirations diverged from his lifestyle. According to the Danny Field's biography, Linda McCartney, their paths crossed once more during an Apple-related trip to New York City. However, at this point, Linda was not the sole focus of Paul's affection. Friends recalled him spending time with her in Beverly Hills while maintaining public appearances with Asher. Adding to the complexity, another girl named Francie Schwartz, an aspiring screenwriter, was also in the picture during that summer. Eventually, Paul invited Linda to both Beverly Hills and London, and once their relationship was official, things progressed rapidly. By December of that year, Linda was pregnant. Paul sought her father's blessing for marriage, and they became formally engaged around Christmas. The wedding took place swiftly on March 12, 1969, in a civil ceremony at Marylebone's Town Hall. Despite no official announcement, crowds of disappointed fans gathered, lamenting the fact that the last Beatle was off the market, necessitating police presence to manage the situation. Facing unjust criticism, Linda McCartney found herself at the receiving end of an overwhelming amount of hate, especially following the breakup of the Beatles, a period marked by the emergence of both Linda and Yoko Ono. Understandably, they became scapegoats for the group's dissolution. In her conversations with biographer Danny Fields for his book Linda McCartney, she revealed the extent of the animosity directed towards her. Recounting incidents of threats and violence, she expressed the deep impact it had on her psyche. She recalled one particularly disturbing event on her wedding day when a hostile individual attempted to set fire to their home. Such encounters left her feeling constantly threatened and vulnerable, fearing the next malicious attack. Her relationship with the media was also fraught with challenges. Marrying a member of the Beatles inevitably thrust her into the public spotlight. However, her inherent shyness often translated into a perception of her as gauche and abrasive, as noted by Howard Soons, author of Fab: An Intimate Life of Paul McCartney. Despite decades passing, Linda struggled with interviews, acknowledging the difficulty of being constantly scrutinized and criticized. Yet, amidst the negativity, she found solace in the unwavering support of at least one individual in England. The Wings, a new chapter. While Linda McCartney may not have played a direct role in the breakup of the Beatles, she found herself central to Paul McCartney's musical endeavors with Wings. Although some critics speculated about her motives, Linda adamantly denied any intention to push herself into the limelight. In an interview with the San Diego Union-Tribune, she emphasized the challenges she faced and the sacrifices she made to support Paul. Despite her initial reluctance, her dedication to their relationship ultimately propelled her into the world of music alongside him. As they embarked on this musical journey, they also cherished moments of solitude and family time on their Scottish farm. Paul, reflecting on their time together, revealed how Linda's influence transformed their rural retreat into a place of profound significance. The experiences they shared in Scotland would later find their way into their music, most notably in the album Ram, imbuing their songs with the essence of their shared life and love. Pioneering vegetarianism. Linda McCartney embraced vegetarianism long before it became a trend, a journey deeply intertwined with the Scottish farm where she and Paul McCartney spent considerable time amid their post-Beatles endeavors with Wings. The catalyst for their meat-free lifestyle was the realization sparked by observing the sheep on their farm. As Paul recounted, witnessing the joyous antics of these animals contrasted sharply with the notion of consuming lamb, prompting a profound philosophical shift towards vegetarianism. Linda's commitment to the cause extended beyond personal dietary choices. She authored vegetarian cookbooks and established Linda McCartney Foods. However, in the 1970s, opting for a meat-free diet was far from mainstream, as their daughter Mary emphasized in an interview with The Times. Despite societal skepticism, it was a joint decision for the McCartney family, dispelling the misconception that Linda alone influenced Paul's dietary choices. In a 2010 interview with The Guardian, Paul reflected on Linda's pivotal role in inspiring their circle of friends to embrace vegetarianism, attributing her gentle yet persuasive demeanor as a driving force behind their dietary shifts. Battling breast cancer. Tragically, Linda McCartney's life was cut short by breast cancer, diagnosed in 1995 and metastasizing in March 1998. Just 2 days after their final horseback ride together, she passed away at the age of 56. Paul and Linda were practically inseparable until her passing in April 1998. She succumbed to breast cancer, the same illness that had claimed Paul's mother's life years earlier, according to NME. For Paul, her death marked a profound loss compounded by the memory of his mother's earlier succumbing to the same disease when he was just 14 years old. The loss of Linda at the age of 56 left Paul in a prolonged state of mourning. He candidly shared, "I think I cried for about a year on and off. You expect to see them walk in, this person you love, because you are so used to them. I cried a lot." This emotional upheaval, while challenging, felt inevitable to him. Tragically, breast cancer had also claimed the life of Paul's mother, Mary McCartney, when he was just 14 years old. Reflecting on this double tragedy, Paul noted the stark contrast between the stoicism exhibited by his family and the underlying sorrow that occasionally surfaced, particularly in moments when his father, previously uncharacteristically, would break down in tears. Linda McCartney knew she was dying. In 1995, Linda received the devastating diagnosis of breast cancer, which had already metastasized to other parts of her body by the time it was discovered. Initially, treatment seemed promising, with reports indicating positive progress, as stated by a family spokesperson cited in Variety. However, the situation took a turn for the worse in March when it was revealed that the cancer had spread to her liver. As Linda's illness progressed in the late 1990s, Her husband and doctor made the difficult decision not to disclose the severity of her condition to her. The cancer had spread to her liver. The doctor cited Linda's resilient and positive attitude as a rationale for withholding the grim prognosis from her. Just 2 days prior to her passing, Linda was enjoying a horseback ride with her husband, Paul. According to the spokesperson, there was a silver lining in the swift nature of her passing. The blessing was that the end came quickly and she didn't suffer. She passed away and was surrounded by her family at their ranch in Tucson, Arizona. Following her wishes, her ashes were scattered at the McCartney farm in Sussex, England. In a poignant tribute, Paul McCartney urged fans to support breast cancer research charities that refrain from animal testing or, even better, to adopt a vegetarian lifestyle. Memorial services were held to honor Linda's memory, with 700 attendees in London and another service in Manhattan, New York, 2 months later. At her funeral, Paul emotionally expressed, "She was my girlfriend. I lost my girlfriend." In April 1999, Paul performed at a concert dedicated to Linda and their children, featuring numerous renowned artists. The event raised funds for cancer research, resulting in over $2,000 donated to the Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center in New York and the Arizona Center in Tucson, where Linda had received treatment. Additionally, in 2000, the Linda McCartney Cancer Center was established at the Royal Liverpool University Hospital. In a further tribute, the Linda McCartney Kintyre Memorial Trust unveiled a memorial garden in Campbelltown in November 2002. The garden features a bronze statue of Linda, crafted by her cousin, sculptor Jane Robbins. Linda McCartney's legacy. Together, Linda and Paul shared 3 children, Mary, Stella, and James, and Paul formally adopted Linda's daughter, Heather. In 1969, Paul and Linda welcomed their first child together, Mary, who followed in her mother's footsteps to become a photographer and embraced a vegetarian lifestyle like her mom. Their second daughter, Stella, born in 1971, has earned acclaim as a prominent fashion designer. In 1977, Paul welcomed his first son, James McCartney, who has pursued a career in music following in his father's footsteps as a singer and songwriter. Today, Paul revels in the role of a grandfather, with several grandchildren in tow. Sadly, Linda never had the chance to experience the joys of grandmotherhood, as Arthur, Mary's son, and a striking resemblance to Paul, was born a year after her passing. Though many years have passed since Paul bid farewell to Linda, it's evident that she holds a cherished place in his heart. Their love story appeared timeless, yet it was abruptly cut short, leaving behind a legacy of love and devotion that endures. Linda McCartney's legacy extends beyond her marriage to Paul. Her photography will be showcased at the Linda McCartney Retrospective, debuting at Kelvin Grove Art Gallery and Museum in Glasgow, running until January 2020, as reported by the BBC. In the wake of her passing, the McCartney family has carried forward Linda's legacy. Paul's commitment to vegetarianism and animal rights endures, while daughter Stella draws inspiration from her mother's activism in developing her vegan skincare line. Similarly, Mary has embraced her mother's passion for photography, using her platform to support cancer charities like Maggie's, carrying on Linda's spirit of compassion and advocacy. Renowned photographer, Linda's talent extended beyond her role as her husband's backing vocalist. A year prior to their marriage, she captured a striking image of Neil Young, which ultimately graced the cover of his 2008 album, Sugar Mountain, Live at Canterbury House. Her portfolio boasted an array of notable artists, including Eric Clapton, Janis Joplin, Simon and Garfunkel, Bob Dylan, Grace Slick, The Who, The Doors, and the Rolling Stones, dispelling a myth. Despite her maiden name being Eastman, which coincidentally mirrored the name of the Eastman Kodak camera and film company founded by George Eastman, Linda was not, in fact, an heiress to the Kodak fortune. The misconception likely stemmed from this shared name. Linda herself addressed the rumor shortly after her marriage, stating, "I don't know how that mistake came about, except through the name and the fact that I am a photographer." Contrary to popular belief, Linda and George Eastman were not related in any way. Interestingly, Linda would have been known as Epstein if her father, Leopold Vail Epstein, hadn't opted to change his name to Lee Eastman. The reason behind his choice of Eastman remains a mystery. Criticism of her singing. During the 1980s, a tape surfaced showing Linda singing noticeably off-key during a performance of Hey Jude. The media pounced on this, subjecting her to ridicule. However, Linda remained unfazed by the criticism. In a 1989 interview, she shrugged off the incident, attributing the public's interest solely to her marriage to Paul. She even hinted that jealousy might have fueled some of the backlash. Musical influences. Despite often being associated with her husband Paul, Linda harbored her own musical interests. While her public persona largely revolved around her partnership with Paul, she held deep admiration for other artists. One such figure was Jimi Hendrix, whose musical prowess both on and off stage left a lasting impression on her. Linda admired his multifaceted talent, particularly evident in his work on Electric Ladyland, where he showcased his proficiency across various instruments, selective musical collaborations. On the other hand, Linda didn't share the same enthusiasm for every musical act. In a notable instance, she politely declined an invitation to guest star on the Smiths' 1986 album, The Queen is Dead. According to guitarist Johnny Marr, when frontman Morrissey extended the offer in writing, Linda respectfully declined. Musical expression. Following her passing, Paul McCartney released an album featuring a song titled The Light Comes From Within. In this track, Linda addressed criticism regarding her musical abilities, animal rights advocacy, and vegetarian lifestyle. Paul alleged that the BBC banned the single due to its profanity-laden lyrics. Titled Wild Prairie, the 1998 album primarily comprised previously unreleased recordings by the artist. A television appearance on The Simpsons. Linda's versatility extended beyond music to television. In a memorable moment, she lent her voice to herself in a 1995 episode of The Simpsons. The storyline saw Lisa Simpson embrace vegetarianism under Linda's guidance, sparked by a touching encounter with a lamb at a petting zoo. Paul's influence in songwriting. In Linda's early years, music played a significant role. At the tender age of 6, a client of her father's, Jack Lawrence, penned a song about her, later recorded by artists like Jan and Dean and Perry Como. Paul McCartney, her husband, drew inspiration from Linda for several of his songs, including We Got Married, Golden Earth Girl, My Love, and Maybe I'm Amazed. Paul's marriage to Linda stood as his longest-lasting union, spanning 29 years until her passing from breast cancer in 1998. Following her death, Paul entered into 2 additional marriages. The fast-paced relationship between Paul McCartney and Heather Mills. The narrative of Sir Paul McCartney and Heather Mills' relationship is marked by various milestones and challenges. Their initial encounter occurred at the prestigious Pride of Britain Awards in London in May 1999, where Sir Paul McCartney presented an award in memory of his late wife, Linda. The seeds of their romance began to sprout during a picturesque getaway to the Lake District in 2001, culminating in their engagement. The following year witnessed their union in matrimony at a serene countryside castle nestled in the verdant landscapes of Ireland. Their love story reached a new chapter in 2002 with the birth of their daughter, Beatrice. Lady McCartney joyously welcomed the couple's daughter, Beatrice Millie, into the world in the autumn of 2003. The arrival of Beatrice added to Sir Paul's existing brood, comprising musician James, photographer Mary, and fashion designer Stella, from his marriage to Linda. Additionally, He embraced the role of stepfather to Heather, Linda's daughter from a previous marriage. However, amidst the apparent bliss, tensions brewed between Heather and Paul's daughter, Stella. Reports from Mirror Online unveiled a rift between the two, with Heather divulging to the things her grievances against Stella. She lamented Stella's alleged efforts to sabotage their marital bond, fueled by jealousy and a disregard for her father's happiness. The strained relationship between the two women cast a shadow over the familial harmony. Despite their efforts to navigate the challenges, Sir Paul McCartney and Heather Mills announced their separation after 4 years of marriage. In a joint statement, they expressed profound sadness at the demise of their relationship, attributing it to the relentless scrutiny of their private lives by the public eye. The dissolution of their union was accompanied by a tumultuous legal battle, culminating in their official divorce in 2009. Heather expressed a sense of relief upon the conclusion of the proceedings, stating her gratitude that the ordeal had reached its end. The divorce proceedings were fraught with contention, with Sir Paul citing Heather's alleged unreasonable behavior as the basis for their separation. Nancy Shevell, Paul's third wife. Their story begins in the idyllic setting of the Hamptons during the summer of 2007, where Nancy and Paul first crossed paths through mutual acquaintances. Despite Nancy being in a marriage at the time, sparks flew between the two, laying the foundation for a profound connection that would shape their future. As rumors swirl about their burgeoning romance, Nancy's divorce was finalized, marking a significant turning point in their relationship. By November 2009, the couple made their public debut as a couple at the prestigious Metropolitan Museum of Art's annual Costume Institute Gala, confirming their status as a serious pair. Their bond continued to deepen, with Nancy accompanying Paul to various social events and outings, further solidifying their status as a devoted couple. In May 2011, their love culminated in a beautiful wedding ceremony at the historic Old Marylebone Town Hall in London, surrounded by their closest family and friends, including Paul's children and former Beatles bandmate, Ringo Starr. Following their nuptials, Paul and Nancy embarked on a romantic honeymoon in the breathtaking Mediterranean, basking in the glow of newlywed bliss. Over the years, they have been frequently spotted together, sharing tender moments and enjoying each other's company at concerts, film premieres, and other high-profile events. In 2012, the couple celebrated their first wedding anniversary with a cozy dinner in New York City, underscoring their commitment to each other. The following year, they attended the prestigious Grammy Awards together, where Paul was honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award, showcasing their unwavering support for each other's achievements. Despite their busy schedules and demanding careers, Paul and Nancy prioritized spending quality time together, cherishing the simple joys of life and nurturing their bond. Their enduring love and mutual respect for one another serve as a testament to the strength of their relationship. As they celebrated their fourth wedding anniversary in 2015, Paul and Nancy reaffirmed their devotion to each other, sharing a romantic dinner in New York City and reflecting on their journey as a couple. Through the ups and downs of life, they remained steadfast in their commitment to each other, embracing the joys and challenges that come with building a life together. Their relationship serves as an inspiration to many, with Paul expressing profound gratitude for Nancy's unwavering love and support throughout the years. As they continue to embark on new adventures and create lasting memories together, Paul and Nancy remain united in their shared vision for the future, anchored by the deep bond they share. The journey through the tragic death of Linda McCartney, Paul McCartney's first wife, serves as a poignant reminder of the enduring impact of love and loss. As we reflect on her life and legacy, let us cherish the memories she shared with Paul and the lasting contributions she made to music and activism. What memories or songs of Linda McCartney resonate with you the most? Share your thoughts and reflections in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories honoring iconic figures and their legacies.